I finally snapped at my estranged, drug-addict sister when she showed up demanding her cat back after months of no contact. She tried to guilt-trip me, blame our mom, and even bring up our deadbeat dad. But I unleashed years of pent-up frustration, calling her out on her lies. This was the incident where I finally let my sister have it like never before. I got a random knock at my door, and it was my sister that I've been NC with for a while now. My parents previously acted like she had. No car to come out with, let alone have the guts. Boy, were they wrong. I was shocked to see her, but kept my cool at first. She wanted her mail from us. We had that mail sitting around for months, and eventually it got thrown away. I told my sister I'd go over to our parents' house and look for any she might have. And right as I started walking, she asked if I still have her cat, and if she could have him back. I told her I do have the cat, and I'm not giving him back. That's when she went off on me. I held my arm up and told her I wasn't doing this right now, and as I turned around to look back, I saw that cat freaking running away from her. That cat likes just about everybody, and he was off like a shot because she was there. He did not want to go with her. He knew exactly what kind of place she'd take him to. My sister angrily got back in her car and started saying terrible things about me as I was trying to walk away. That's when I lost it and yelled at her to leave. She acted like she didn't hear me, so I just pointed to the road and she flipped out screaming, "You want me to leave?" I yelled back at her again to get out, and she started driving away while yelling that she's lost everybody here, I'm a bad brother, etc. She gets outside the gate, then stops and starts backing up. So I closed the gate before she could get back in. She starts flipping out again and screaming, "I hope Mom was worth it to you," because she tries to make our mother at fault for everything. Then she said she'd report me for keeping her cat, which I doubt she'd do, because she's a drug addict that doesn't want cops snooping around. I yelled at her that when she really lost me was when she told me our mother was going to die for crossing her. And then I called her out for not buying winter clothes for her kids. She claimed that was after her ex got custody of them. But no, it was before that. Her youngest son came to me in 39 degrees with nothing but a t-shirt and shorts. He didn't even own a coat. I spent $200 on clothes for her kids from the thrift stores. And she still owes me $800 for unpaid power bills and a couple of small loans. She made a really confused face when I yelled that to her, because she likely forgot, but quickly went back to yelling. We kept screeching at each other through the gate, and she kept talking about how I chose Mom over her. So I brought up her biological father, who wasn't there for basically her entire childhood. My sister spent most of her childhood saying he'd come for her, but he never did. She put the idea of this man on a pedestal for her whole life, but she had to go looking for him when she was in her 30s. He never paid child support, cheated on our mother, became a drug addict, and then went to prison, and then ran off to Arizona after getting out of prison. The guy saw her one last time when my sister was 2 years old, and then nothing for 30 years. She yelled her father is a good guy. I yelled back her father is a piece of shit. Then I called her a narcissist who just blames others, and she needs a villain in her life just to function. And then by some miracle, our parents showed up in their car. Our mother tried to soothe her, and I walked away for a couple minutes. And during that time, the cat I'd saved from my sister appeared and was following me extra closely while meowing. He does not usually do that. He was clearly very stressed. I picked him up and put him in my house. Then I went back to see if our mother had calmed my sister down, but she was still losing her mind and saying crap about me. I ended up yelling at her some more through the gate. And after I walked away a second time, my mother told me my sister called me a fucker right before she drove away. I was furious, but unloading on her like that was so cathartic. She made me miserable for nearly my entire life. I immediately got the cat booked at the vet to be chipped that Monday, and now he's registered in my name. So if my sister steals him back, I can call the police on her. And I won't hesitate to do that. Also, I wish I'd remembered to call her out on how I know she's a cheater. She still thinks I don't know. She had at least 3 affairs, one of which was with one of our biological cousins. She's a really fucked up person, and she's currently blaming it all on her dead boyfriend that unalived himself by ramming his car into a tree after she broke up with him. The guy cheated on her with another woman in her own bed. That woman apparently somehow passed away too not long later. My sister claimed that guys cheating was why she didn't want to come home before she was evicted. No, she was out drinking, getting high, and probably sleeping around. She was barely home 2 nights a week, barely fed her kids, and didn't even buy them winter clothes. My parents and I stepped up and took care of them in her stead until their dad took them away at the beginning Christmas break and transferred them to new schools. Then he took my sister back to court to finally finalize their divorce and get primary custody. That's just a few of the reasons why we evicted my sister. She is a terrible person, and pretty much a lost cause at this point. Addition. I had this post all written out last week for Monday posting. But then just a few days ago, my sister messaged me from a new number out of the blue, and the way she was texting I can only describe as childish and detached, like someone who was struggling to put together a sentence. She somehow had the idea that our mother now had my phone number. Which is weird, and the way she was texting me also seemed so detached that I didn't recognize her. First, she said she used to be a part of my family, and then she called herself my ex-sister. She's also started calling our mother by name. I did not say anything impolite to her, and was genuinely clueless what she was messaging me about because she was so vague. So I just went next door to my parents and handed off my phone to my mother. My mother did not really say anything rude to my sister over text. She even said she'd never stop loving her, but also noted her disappointment on the way my sister showed up to the hospital to see our mother when she was being treated. My mother went into the hospital for a week not too long ago, and my sister visited her at 1 a.m. and did nothing but talk about herself and how she was a victim when our mother was laying there sick from severe vitamin deficiency from a multitude of different causes, from medication to a stomach defect. My sister's response to our mother was curt, but I wouldn't say rude. My mother then said that all she wanted my sister to know was that our older stepbrother had another child and didn't mean to upset her. Then my sister said that she's not upset and won't let our mother or her family upset her anymore, even though she was the one causing us all severe stress, as my past posts about her will show. Then my sister responded with unconditional love and called that a joke, then told our mother to eat well and said her grandchildren need her. She spoke as if those kids were not hers anymore. My sister obviously blames us for her losing everything, even though it was all her fault. She acts like we should have had sympathy, but all the years of mistreatment from her added up, and we just couldn't take it anymore.